Welcome. This is Fashion, Art, and Media. And with me today is a sister who is very important to me. Welcome. Please introduce yourself and tell us more about yourself in your fashion journey and also in your spiritual journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor. I'm really grateful. My name is Carolyn Adebolu. I'm Nigerian by heritage. I was born in London, but I came back to the UK, and I've lived here for quite a while. I am a jewelry and accessories designer. And I graduated in 2011 from the London Metropolitan University. I studied silversmithing and jewelry, and there I learned how to, we worked with metals, mixed media. I created a lot of a portfolio of catwalk jewelry and, very, very conceptual jewelry and very big, bold, in your face jewelry. But before that, I decided to start a jewelry business. The reason why I went to study silversmithing and jewelry was as a result of some adversities in life. This is part of what we were talking about, and we decided to, share it on your show. Growing up, I wouldn't have considered myself creative at all.
Right.
It wasn't like I knew what I was going to do when I was younger, and I said, "Oh yes, I'm going to be a jewelry designer." No, that was not the case.
Right.
So coming back to the UK and sort of settling down, what your parents would want you to do is, get a good career, settle down and start a family. And that was what I was working towards. That was the trajectory of my life. Now, a long time ago, I used to work in a law firm as an accounts assistant.
Right.
And I was trying to do what my parents wanted me to do. I was trying to study ACCA, which is accredited chartered accountancy course. But I kept on dropping out. I failed at it spectacularly. I dropped out 3 times, I remember. And, during the course of anyway, how it all happened was that I was married, I was engaged, I was married, and I had ideally on the outside, I had a blissful life. I had for somebody looking on the outside, I had a wonderful blissful life. I had just had a new baby boy. We were living a very good life. There was nothing wrong. I was just, living the ideal life. We had, brand new cars, a brand new home. We were just recently married. So it would have been wonderful for anybody looking, from the outside. But in 2003, in the month of June, we split up. Myself and my ex-husband split up because prior to that time we were having serious problems. So that was in June. We separated, and in September of that same year, my mom died tragically. So those two things completely messed up my head, and it's a very, very long story. We're only scratching the surface because of for time reasons. I eventually I went through a very deep dark depression coming back from my mom's funeral, and the medication I was given by the doctors did not make me any better. It only made me worse. It made me feel suicidal. I was suicidal for a good several months. So it took me a while I was trying to find. So in that period, I lost my job, my marriage was over, I lost my home, everything was, rock bottom, and, a great deal of, very deep, dark depression. So I had to try and start, it was like a death. And I had to try and start bringing myself back to life again. Well, okay, what am I going to do with my life? So and at that time, like I said, I wouldn't have called myself creative. Now, a short while after my mom passed away, one day I remember this day clearly because when looking back on it, I know that God was talking through or talking through this person. One
Yes.
day after church, I drove my son Jordan. My son's name is Jordan. After church, I drove my son to my friend had a market store, and I just drove him there. I said, "Oh, let's go and see what Auntie Abby is doing." And my friend's name is Abby, and
Mhm.
she was, So when I went to the market store and I saw what she was selling, and amongst the things she was selling were some gemstone jewelry, some simple beaded gemstone jewelry, and I
Right.
was blown away. And I was like, "What is this?" It was beautiful, but then they also have healing properties as well.
Uh-huh.
So, and I was like, "Oh, how much are they? How, what?" So I chose the ones I wanted for my personal stuff, and I asked her the
Mhm.
price, and she said the necklace was £15, and I said that's ridiculous. It can't be £15. So I took
Mhm.
the bag of her stock and I doubled the price. I took it to that the law firm where I used to work at,
Mhm.
and I sold it, sold all of it because
Mhm.
I believed when I believe in something, that's something I about my personality. When I believe in
Right.
something, I can sell it to you and you believe it just as good as I do. So I
Mhm.
sold a lot. And when I went back to her, she said, "Wow, you sold everything, you know." And I was so excited. And she was like, "Oh, look,
Uh-huh.
let's do this. Let me teach you how to make jewelry. And
Yes.
we could do this as a business." And I was like, "I don't think I can do it. I mean, I said a phrase. I said, how do you take the bead and put the string in the bead? I don't think I can. I don't know how to do it. I don't think I can do it because I didn't see myself as creative, or do you know
Mhm.
what I mean? So I pushed that to one side. But eventually, I told her after where the shop. We used to go to the shop where she
Mhm.
bought it, and eventually I loved it so much that I taught myself this, simple beaded jewelry, and I was wearing
Mhm.
it to work. And people were commenting and saying, "Oh, this is lovely, this is nice." And I'm
Right.
like, I made it. I made it, and it was just wonderful. I
Mhm.
loved it. But when people were telling me, "Okay, so where do you sell it?" and I was like, "No, I don't sell it. I just make it for myself." And you
Right.
know, and I didn't see myself as somebody who'd be making jewelry and selling and stuff like that. So and people were telling me, "Okay, the one you're wearing, can you make me something like that, or do you have any other colors?" I said, "Oh yeah, in the shop they have blue, pink, there's a green one if you want."
Mhm.
So that's how I started making for my workmates, and then I priced it up correctly using the price of the beads and everything
Mhm.
like that. So so that was how it was going. And eventually, when I had that nervous breakdown thing and my whole life fell apart,
Mhm.
and I had to start trying to ask myself, "Okay, so what do you want to do with your life?" I've lost my job, I've lost
Mhm.
my home, I've lost everything, complete rock bottom, trying to start again. Okay, decide what am I going to do with my life.
Mhm.
So that was when I took it to career advisors, and they were career advisors, and they were asking me, "Okay, what do I want to do?" So I had to start thinking, "Oh God, oh yeah, jewelry business. Yeah, I want to start a jewelry business." I was like, "Okay, let's do this." I was talking to myself and said, "Okay,
Right.
I'm gonna do this. Okay, let's try this. I'll try this jewelry business." And I tried to put, my name together and everything. I said, "Oh yeah." So, and carried on making jewelry. But I thought to myself, if I want to make it, if I want to take it to the next level, because everybody's making beaded jewelry, you find beaded jewelry everywhere. And
Mhm.
I thought to myself, if I want to take things to the next level, why don't I learn precious metals, working with metal, incorporating metals with jewelry,
Yes.
with the beaded jewelry and stuff. So I thought the best thing for me to do is I enrolled myself into a course, a
Mhm.
taster course, where they do, they teach you how to make a ring to start with, like, oh, working with metal. And then um, I did that course, which is a starter course, and then I did a taster course as well. I had
Right.
to use my gas bill to pay because I couldn't afford to pay for the intermediate course, and I was like, I'll be damned if I lose this opportunity. I need to do everything I can to make this work. So I remember that Christmas I froze through it, but I knew that I had to pay for this intermediate course. So when I did that intermediate taster course, I knew that, okay, something I'm good at. Let me just, and I thought, so, and I thought, let me take it to the next step. So I went and did a City and Guilds jewelry design course at the
Right.
London Metropolitan University. I did the City and Guilds certificate course, and I did the diploma course. Now, when I did the diploma course, I won an award from the British Jewelers Association for the
Right.
body of my work that year, because they were very impressed with my work, and it was just very few of us that won an award from the British Jewelers Association. And that was when I was encouraged to do the BA in silversmithing and
Right.
jewelry. So that was how the whole jewelry story started. It wasn't as if the only thing because somebody interviewed me recently, and the only thing I remember is during my secondary school days back in Nigeria, I used to be very good with everything, arts, crafts, and home economics, sewing, cooking, paper mache, and all that stuff. So, but I never pursued that area. I was always
Right.
wanting to do what the typical African parent wants it to be, either a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, an accountant, and that was what I was aiming to do what my parents would have wanted me to do. But that was not working because I dropped out like three times. Once when I was getting ready for preparing for my wedding, and I found an excuse. I said, oh, I we're planning for the wedding. I can't cope. The stress too much. When I was pregnant and studying as well, I found an excuse. I said, I can't cope with the tummy. I can't cope with being pregnant and studying. The third time, I found an excuse. So I dropped out 3 times, and it was not working. I was forcing myself to do something I was not born to do. I was not meant to do it. I was just going through the route that my parents wanted me to go. Now, so at that time, so I studied, silversmithing and jewelry, and I recently completed my master's degree in international fashion business, which is going to help me to scale my business and expand it on a business level, and that has really, really helped a lot. So it's really one of those cases where I am thankful for that adversity, and there's been a lot of challenges along the line, but I'm grateful for all of those. So yeah,
right.
That's how the whole jewelry thing started.
Right. I know too that you're quite spiritual.
I am, yes. I would refer to myself. I wouldn't refer to myself as religious. I would refer to myself more as spiritual in terms of the fact that I am aware that there is a higher power within all of us, and I don't believe that you have to go to one particular place that is where God is. I feel like there's a piece of God in every single one of us, and I try to connect to that force. I try to make a conscious effort to connect to that higher force that's within us as much as I can. Yeah.
Right. So being spiritual and making jewelry, do you make this jewelry for spiritual purposes, or is it just fashion purposes?
I would say along my journey, I started off doing my jewelry as a complement of fashion. So doing fashion shows, doing photo shoots. I was very, very involved in the fashion world, and I still am. I still complement a lot of fashion shows. I accessorize for a lot of shows in the past and stuff. However, with the growth since, all these years, with challenges, ups and downs, because, life is you're never up all the time. So there has been growing pains over the years, and I've learned a lot who I am. What impact do I, because I after a while, I felt like, I don't feel like the whole fashion world is making much of an impact for me personally. It's wonderful. You go to fashion shows, everybody's all well dressed, and everybody's all, it's, and darling, oh, that's amazing, that's fabulous, darling. I don't feel like it's making any particular impact for me personally, and it's good for those who. And I'm still very much involved in the fashion industry, but I feel
Uh-huh.
like there is more to life, or there is more. For me, I find more fulfillment in when I'm able to talk to somebody, connect with people on a real deep basis, people with depth. And also, apart from that, if I'm able to lift somebody up who's in a low state of mind or who's
Uh-huh.
in a low place or on a low frequency, I find that I get fulfillment when I'm able to make a difference with somebody. Like, for example, so that, I came up, in the fashion industry, but over time, and as a result of some challenges I've gone through, I've
Mhm.
noticed that, especially like I told you, I was given medication for depression and it didn't really help me, it made me
Yeah.
worse. So I had to research and find alternative healing solutions for myself.
Mhm.
And that for me, it has been essential oils. And then I've gone back to these gemstones, which they all have healing properties. All the gemstones, clear quartz crystals, aventurine, lapis lazuli is good for confidence. This is rose quartz. It's good for calming. It's good for universal love, romantic love, familial love, self love, which a lot of us don't have. When we
Mhm.
need to learn and train ourselves how to start to not be conceited, but to have a deep sense of self love and an awareness of the fact that we are, children of the Most High, the Creator. You know,
Yeah.
so that's why. So as a result of that kind of evolution, I've started a small brand, which is called
Mhm.
Beautiful Alchemy. I'll send you the details, and it's
Mhm.
focused on healing and well-being. And I create jewelry as well,
Mhm.
but it's more focused on healing and well-being, and
Mhm.
that's what I shine a light on in that sense. And I also make perfume oils and perfume aura mist sprays and stuff, and they are also focus on healing and well-being, and they're
Yes.
made from essential oils and infused with healing flower essences, and they're
Mhm.
just wonderful. They smell beautiful, and they are healing, and it's good for the senses, especially for creative people. We right brain people.
Mhm.
We are high on things that are natural, things that are
Mhm.
natural, that work on the senses, that work on on the mind, and that are beneficial for the mind and the soul. So this is my brand, Beautiful Alchemy. I've had more feedback
Mhm.
from all this natural stuff than I have with over 10 years of jewelry
Right.
making, working in the fashion industry. It's
Mhm.
just been putting money in, the only thing I know I've gotten from as a jewelry designer with all my catwalk jewelry and my diffusion range, and I make a lot of bespoke jewelry for clients and
Mhm.
stuff, you know,
Mhm.
a lot of bridal jewelry, Nigerian traditional bridal
Mhm.
jewelry. The only thing out of all that money and time and blood, sweat and tears that
Mhm.
I've put in, I would say that I've come away with learning experiences,
Right.
a bag full of learning experiences,
Mhm.
be it from just all different kinds of experiences that I can
Mhm.
learn from or I can look back on. And do you
Mhm.
know what I mean? So as you asked about the spiritual side of me, I'm able to explore that side with my brand, Beautiful Alchemy. I've had
That's
wonderful
amazing.
feedback from the perfume oils, from the jewelry. Um, it's been wonderful, just so wonderful.
That's amazing.
Finally,
Mhm.
finally, yeah.
I can actually understand where you're coming from. I have recently become spiritual, so I understand completely what you are saying. Even if I'm, beginning to be spiritual, I've just been since the year began. That's when I became spiritual, you know,
On a spiritual
and
journey. We're all on the journey. There's no real
uh-huh,
destination. Sorry for interrupting. Please carry on.
that's okay. So I would like to hear more about this because my next question was going to be about the perfumes that you make, the oils that you make. And this is also really, besides our viewers listening to what you have to say, it's also good for me because as I'm on this spiritual journey, these things I want to know too personally. So if you can
Okay.
kindly tell us a bit more about the essential oils and, you know.
Okay, at the moment I've come out with three main fragrances, and they are based. The names are based on the gemstone, the healing gemstones, and I have infused the essential oils. It's a mix, a blend of essential oils, and I infuse it with the stones, so that the stones will the essential oil will pick up the frequency of the stones.
Right.
Yes, so I have the I don't know if you could just bear with me 1 second.
No problem. So viewers, as you can hear, you can get to have perfume or oils made for you to suit.
So this is one of the
right.
the blends I do. This is the love blend, and in here you have pieces of rose quartz and this one clear quartz.
Right.
Now this is the love one, and it smells absolutely, oh my god, it's absolutely delicious. You know, it's got ylang ylang, it's got vanilla, and I infuse it in rose petals. Rose petals is something that brings love, and it's calming because it's got pieces of this stone, this calming stone,
yes,
rose quartz, and then clear quartz. When you get time, you can Google it. Clear quartz, rose quartz, and then all the blend of the oil, and it comes. All of them. I've got 3 blends at the moment. This is the one for love. There's one with, it's called amethyst.
Did you say love?
Love. This is the one for love.
Love us to LOVE.
Love. Universal love, romantic love, self-love. It encourages self-love. We all need to brush up on that, because a lot of the time we're giving love to somebody else, you know, looking for love from them. But if you have love from within, the beautiful love from the creator, you don't really need to go and start putting yourself in a situation where it's unrequited. So all the different aspects of love, universal love, romantic love, love from your family, love for self, very important. You know, so this is the one with rose quartz, and then pieces of clear quartz inside.
Right.
So it's infused with it. It's amplified with clear quartz, which acts as a battery. If you do some research on clear quartz, you understand what it does. Clear quartz you'll find in people's wristwatches, and it's used for many technological feats as well. Now, so this is the one for love, and I have the other 2 is amethyst. Amethyst is for stress and anxiety relief. You know, and it's got amethyst pieces just like this one. It's got amethyst pieces inside it and clear quartz pieces inside it, and it's got the blend of essential oils. It also smells beautiful. It's calming. And then I do the same range I do as well in sprays, aura sprays, and you know it's calming. The same stones inside, and it's calming. And for those who have insomnia, for people who have panic attacks, it's wonderful for that. For people who can't sleep very well, you know, even for me, sometimes I'm not able to sleep. Sometimes I rub it on my pillow, rub it, you know, just anywhere, you know, wonderful. And then there's a third blend. It's also, that one is called Aventurine. It's this green stone. And this green stone is for harmony and abundance. It brings abundance. You'd never find yourself in a position of lack. It's a stone for, and it's a stone for also for creativity, so you get ideas and stuff. So abundance, wealth, abundance, and harmony. You know, peace in a home, and you know. So those are the 3 main blends. I'll send you the pictures. Those are the 3 main blends I'm working on at the moment. It's going to expand eventually, but that as a new brand, I have 3 blends. They come in perfume oils and sprays, energy mist sprays. So yeah. So
Amazing.
Those and then also other gemstone jewelry, druzy pendants, all of them healing. Yeah.
Right.
And I swear by them. The feedback I've gotten, I mean, it's so fulfilling. You
I
can't I
know,
can't
I know it must be, because I also have rose quartz
Oh yes,
with
yes,
my
yes, yes,
chakra
yes.
beads.
Yes, yes,
So
yes, yes,
yeah,
yes,
so
yes,
I know.
yes. I'm still, I mean, you never, it's an ongoing evolution, and you learn more and learn more.
That's
The
right.
more you learn, the more you realize you don't have a clue of anything. So you're
I know.
learning again. You're learning
This
again,
is
and you think, oh
right.
yeah, I've got it, I've got it, I've got it all, I've got it, I know it. No, and then you start relearning again. So it's a wonderful
This is it.
endless journey of revealing yourself
Mhm.
to yourself. It's
Mhm.
just wonderful. Yeah.
Amazing. So
Thank
you
you.
have 3 new products that are in the market right now. If whoever is watching can buy from you,
Yes,
right?
I do. They can buy some.
Right.
I have an Etsy shop that's online right
Mhm.
now. I'll send the
Mhm.
link to you as well, and that's where you can find all these 3 fragrances and then the 3 sprays. They're based on
Mhm.
the same thing. Um, the love one, the stress and anxiety relief, and then the abundance one as well. So
You
they're
see.
all on there, as well as some necklaces, bracelets, like the rose quartz bracelets you got. I've got something like that on
Mhm.
there. Rose quartz,
Mhm.
jade, black tourmaline,
Mhm.
uh, so many different turquoise,
Right.
lots of agates, and then I have a lot of agate druzy pendants on there, because
Right.
agate is such it's such a round, all round healing stone. Agate,
Uh-huh.
and it's calming, it's uplifting, and it negates negative energy. It suppresses negative energy, and
Right.
yes, and it is very grounding. So I have a lot of agate pendants on there, and rings
Right.
and things like that. And like I say, with time it will continue to expand. So as well as
Mhm.
my Jodeli in London, I have the Beautiful Alchemy brand that
Wow.
mainly
Amazing.
focus on healing and well-being. Yeah.
So you said you have a website. Are you also on any other social media for if anyone wants to
Yes.
buy from
Hmm.
you, where they can find you, or if somebody wants to learn a bit more, where they can find you?
I'm on most social media platforms. So Instagram, Twitter, Facebook are the main ones I've got, and I've got
Mhm.
business pages for them. And then on the Instagram, all the social media websites, there's a link to the my online shop, online boutique, which is
Right.
Etsy.
Mhm.
And on Etsy, you see all the products there with the
Right.
descriptions, and yeah, so it's all on there.
Right.
So my main Instagram handle is Jodeline London, Jodelyn London. I'll send you the link. Yeah,
Jodley London.
Jodeline London.
Jodley London.
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. I've actually I have a few things I've bought from Etsy.
How have
So
you? Yeah, Etsy's
yes,
really good.
yes,
Etsy's really good. It's like having an online marketplace. It's like having an online
right.
market space. So it's for we creatives. It's for people who make things.
Yes.
For artists, creative people, maybe digital art or something
Mm-hmm.
physical of vintage pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Etsy's very good. I mean, they take their cart, so
Mm-hmm.
you have to account for whatever cut they're going to take. For example, allocate that into your price, so that it
Right.
doesn't so that you can get what your cost price from there, so
Amazing.
you can get your, yeah, exactly.
I can't wait to go to your website and see what you have, because as a new person in the spiritual journey, I want to discover I know that I won't discover everything at once, but I'm very eager to learn. And, you know,
apart from that, because I don't really, my website is just being built. So, but I'm online everywhere, which you don't necessarily need a website. But I mean, you're free to call me anytime. We're going to be on the phone for a long time. I can see it.
I know
I can
that.
see it happening because we have so much to learn. You know, we've been conditioned to forget who we are. So this journey has been trying to wake up
Yes.
and find out who we know thyself. We have to know who we are so that we can know that there is power within us and stop shrinking. Like how I was shrinking when they said, "Oh, where do you sell your jewelry?" And I was like, "Oh no, I don't sell my jewelry." You know, where did we get this from? We've been conditioned to dumb down our life. It's wrong.
That's right.
We're not taught any of all these things we're talking about, you know, natural resources, and we don't go into depth, but they don't go into depth about all these things at school. They teach us things that just at the end of the school life, you're left thinking, oh God, well, okay, what do I want to do? What, you know, most kids that come out, apart from those that their parents have pushed them a certain way, a lot of kids come out confused.
That's true.
You know, confused. No awareness of self. We're told all you do the way we're conditioned is from cradle to grave. Cradle, school, work, grave. Cradle, school, work, grave. Cradle, school, work, grave. And it's a repetitive cycle everywhere you go. And we are much more than that.
Exactly.
I agree. And I feel like, you know, life should be more fulfilling than that, because a lot of people, even those that have made a large heap of money, not all of them are happy, and a lot of people that are doing the job and paying the taxes, and there's no real fulfillment.
No.
Even those who have, okay, for example, like, you know, those who do fashion, who are in fashion and they're making all the money, there's no real fulfillment, and maybe it's just a competitive edge over the next person's collection. And where is the impact? Where is the fulfillment? Where is the depth? Where is
I understand.
You know, and I find more as a person, I'm not very good with small talk. I'm very, you know, I need depth. You know, because especially because I've been through the hurdles. So and I've learned a lot about, I'm still learning a lot about myself. And every person I see, I'm like, I wonder if this person has realized how beautiful they are, and not beautiful like the inner beauty. I wonder if this person has realized their inner beauty. Well, what has God deposited in this person I'm looking at today? You know, I find that so interesting. So, you know, it's a journey, and I'm enjoying it. It's not, you don't get it all. There's no real destination. It's a constant evolution. And I find that if there are those of us who have found some kind of purpose of making an impact, positive impact, I find a lot of fulfillment there, and I think I think it's more important than just everybody just zombieing their way through life, working and paying taxes.
That's right.
And then if they feel like, oh, what makes them happy? Oh, designer brands. And there's more to life than that, you know. You know, the bigger car, these are inanimate objects. Everybody, if they search within, they can find wonderful. There are people who are very good as counselors. There are many people who are good at. I'm not saying everybody has to be, you know, an artist. No, there are people that are wonderful accountants that make great impact for people. You know, save people a lot of money. There are people who are wonderful lawyers, wonderful doctors. But at least if that is your path, your ideal path. But for me, I was deceiving myself. I was trying to force myself into, you know,
Yeah.
force myself into something that it wasn't a mold that wasn't built for me. I was trying to force myself, but
Mhm.
thankfully I've kind of gone down a different trajectory to find
Mhm.
my own path and find myself as a result of an adversity. So in a way, I'm
Mhm.
thankful for the adversity, all the challenges.
Mhm.
So, I can't cry and say, oh, why did I go through it? Why me? But I can only be thankful because it's as a result
Right.
of all those hurdles that have led me to, being able to be where I am now. I can refer to myself as a creative person, and then I'm
Right.
also making some impact where I'm seeing the feedback. I'm seeing, apart from the fact that I am the guinea pig, and I know that these things work for me, or
Mhm.
these natural products work for me, but people are coming back and coming with feedback, and I'm like, "Eh, oh my goodness.
Yes, I know they work
it,
because
and it 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 fills
I
my
use them
heart with
too.
so much joy.
Mhm. That's amazing.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. Well, it's been really nice talking to you. And
Lovely talking to you too. I know I've been rabbiting on.
oh no, I like that because I know that our viewers want to learn a bit more about these things. Especially 2020 has been such a hectic, unbelievable year. We don't know what's happening next. So when you talk about what you've talked about today, it's not only helping people to learn fashion or life generally. It's especially about your oils. It's telling us that there is something that we can do to feel better about ourselves. So thank you. You
Thank
speaking
you
that
so much.
has helped me, especially because I'm young in this spiritual journey, and personally I've learned a lot, and I'm sure there's somebody or people who are going to um, uh, be very interested in what you've said today, what you've shared with us today.
Thank you.
So
I'm very
thank
honored.
you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate, and thank you for your time.
Thank you too.
Thank
I look
you.
forward to talking to you on the phone, talking some
Oh,
more.
definitely. You're my spiritual sister, therefore, that's a must. We'll
I
definitely
look
do
forward
that.
to it. I mean, obviously, because we don't have all the time in the world on this session, I'm there on the phone, so we have,
No, no
and
problem.
it's wonderful to find a kindred spirit where I don't need to water down my words for you to understand what I'm trying to say, or
Exactly.
I don't need to be politically correct, or I don't need to. I could just
Exactly.
let it flow, and at least if you will understand where I'm
Mm-hmm.
coming from, and because
Uh-huh.
we're all on this journey, and I think I strongly believe that, especially for women of color, we are the only.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're the only ones who can lift each other up, or we
Exactly.
can learn from each other. If I've
Mm-hmm.
experienced something and I can tell you and it lifts, or I can tell somebody else and it lifts them up. Is that not a wonderful thing?
Oh, it's
You know,
amazing. Yes, yes,
and
indeed.
I've learned a lot from many other women, of different races, black, white, mixed race, whatever. But I just feel like we should be there to lift each other up,
That's
regardless.
right.
You know, we should be there to lift each other, and I feel like that's why we go through these adversities in life, is to help the
That's
next
true.
person that may be going through. Because if you've not experienced the darkness, you can't lift somebody else. You can't
That's
empathize with
right.
somebody who is going through it. But if you've been through it, you can look the person in the eye and say, "Look, you're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there. Look at my story.
Mm-hmm.
This and this is what happened to me. This and so it's not over for you yet. You know.
Exactly. Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I can talk with you forever, but then again, I have to stop here. Viewers, if you like, comment below if you want to hear more from our guest
From
today,
me.
Caroline, and I will invite her to come back. Thank you so much, Caroline. Really
You're welcome.
appreciate it.
You're very
Thank you.
welcome. Enjoy the rest of your evening and take
Thank,
care. Speak to you
thank you.
soon. God bless.
Bye.
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 baby.